So those are the things we are going to look at today in a jiffy. And also, it should be worthy to know that the material I'm using is from Anand Guru. Anand Guru is a guy whose material is very grounded in introduction to SOC. So, um, if you want the materials, I could get it for you and also share you the link to his Coursera page. So you could go there, give him a 5-star or a 4-star.
Okay.
Yeah, that will be after the class.
I want the material, sir.
No
Anything
problem.
that can. Yes.
It's all right. You will get it.
I want to ask a question concerning this SOC.
Please ask.
Security Operations Center. Is it part of let's say is it part of that cyber security job, or is just like a certified course on cyber security?
Very interesting question. Okay. By the end of today's class, that question will be answered very well.
All
So
right, sir.
it's a journey we are going to go in now, and we are going to make it as detailed and as quick as possible, so we would not take much time. Okay,
Okay, sir.
let's move ahead. So we are going to be talking about what is SOC, how it is involved, how it has involved, the people, the processes, and the technologies in this SOC. What are the skills that are required? Then also towards the non-IT background sections, where does SOC fit in? Why companies need so many computers today? What are the different IT teams? And lastly, what are the different IT security teams? Then we'll also look at why SOC jobs are so hot in the market today. All these things are in the field of cybersecurity. So, first slide here says, where does SOC jobs fit in? And in the real world or in the bigger space of the market, we'll find out that the entire market is made up of different types of sugar-coated jobs: the construction, accounting, sales, HR, banking, etc. Now, behind all these interesting job roles are the IT the information technology that is helping those guys. They are the ones that are, bootstrapping, that the bank is functioning well. The IT is behind it. IT generally. That any section of the market is functioning well, there is a greater chunk of it that is based on IT. So, and from here you could see the tools, whatever the IT, whatever guys, the developers, front end, full stack, name it, and also they use tools, different kind of languages, etc. Now, behind these IT guys, we now have IT infrastructure, the things or the systems that power the IT itself, and they are the IT infrastructure. We now see them as, if you are working in the banking sector or other IT sectors, you see that there's a respect given to network engineers and system engineers, etc., because those guys have access to the back end. They design the back end from beginning till out, and they are in charge of knowing how it works. The banking system, the bankers will tell you that behind the transfer of figures, which is number, bank number, you say, I'm coming to deposit money, you deposit your physical cash, and a number is the giving to you, that is equivalent to how much you deposited, and that number is what you use to transfer to buy things and etc. There are systems that are ensuring that the back end of this process works. They are the IT infrastructure. Now, how important this IT infrastructure is, when we look back also, we will find that there is another layer of security that powers this IT infrastructure. Just a minute.
Okay.
Okay, so these guys that are powering or enabling the IT infrastructure, they fall into the categories of the endpoint security, vulnerability assessment teams, network security teams, and mostly they deal with the inner carcass of database. Database, yes, the IT infrastructure guys they build it, but there are also guys who tend to protect all these stuffs. Now, inside the nucleus of this section lies a small group, which, as of today, seems to be the powerhouse of security, and that is where SOC lies in. We find a SOC analyst, which uses tools like the SIM and the SOA and the threat intel. This little team here has somewhat in the current future become the base of security. Now, let's take a use case. As a civil engineer, you might not necessarily be an architect or a mason worker or a tile worker or an electrician, but obviously you should know how to work with these guys, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, you should know what each and every one of them is expected to do, so that you will be able to take up your contract and execute it from beginning to end. You know when to bring in the painter, you know when to bring in the electrician, the plumber, the architect, the mason, and the tile worker, etc. And that is the civil engineer. The same thing happens to the SOC analyst. As a SOC analyst, you should be able to know how to relate with these sections of people: your system engineer, network engineer, database, network security, vulnerability assessment, endpoint security, the IAM. Whatever these guys are doing, you as a SOC analyst, you have somewhat kind of relatable services, whereby some of the things you are going to be protecting are the things that the IT infrastructure has built, and also the IT security teams are trying to secure. Then you, the SOC analyst, your own job is to monitor those stuffs, raise up tickets, raise up incidents. If there are incidents, you triage the incidents, meaning you write tickets and try to counter them from going from level disaster 0 to level disaster 100. You stop them halfway. There is a limit to what the IT infrastructure or the IT security teams can handle, and that is where the SOC comes in. Now, going ahead, this SOC, why is SOC actually in demand in the market? How did we even get here? Dating from, I think, 2007 or thereabouts, ever since IT became a thing, cybersecurity skill shortage has always been seen in the space. And the cybersecurity skill shortage most times can be blamed on lack of resources or resource personnel. You find out that people tend to go into the bigger names of the jobs, but rather you find out that by the time you become the CEO, the executive this, the banker this, only for you to find out that there is a back end failure that happened due to someone couldn't watch over the system and a theft happened. So there has always been cybersecurity skill shortage, and it's getting worse. In fact, the last pandemic that happened, which is the COVID-19, made it more. It increased the demand by at least 100%, because now people tend to work from home. People tend to have remote access, which also helps people to use their own system. Bring your own laptop. They use their own laptop. They connect to the company's laptop. The exposures became more. So the chances of getting attacked, not just individually, not just as a company or as a group, but as a nation, it rose to a significant number. There is a proper, or there is this thing around cybersecurity, which you've almost attested to it. When people start up to learn cybersecurity, the first thing they will do is probably go to YouTube to go and make inquiries or look at something in the Google. And at first glance, it's gonna be all over your eyes. Everything is looking like everything. Everything is looking like everything. And with that fear or with that stepping stone, without a structural or structured course outline, people tend to have anxieties towards the field. And I tell people that cybersecurity is just like um, engineering. What field are you currently in? What field did you work in?
Yeah, I'm admin in a school in educational consultancy
Okay,
field.
okay. Well, what did you
But
study for your first degree?
my first degree, I studied communication technology.
Okay, great. Now that communication technology, what is the school where it is a department, right?
Yes, yes.
So what's the school that is in? Not, I don't mean the name of
It's
your,
under
I don't mean the name of
it's
the
under
overall school.
school of it's school of science and technology.
Fantastic. Now, School of Science and Technology is
Technology.
under which
Yes.
bigger school?
National Open University.
Fantastic. There you go. So,
Yes.
cybersecurity is like your School of Science and Technology.
Yeah.
That is where cybersecurity is. Now,
Okay.
inside it, you now have different departments, different courses that people could read. For example, I did electrical engineering, and electrical engineering I did. I schooled in Futo. Now, Futo has schools. We have SOS, which is a School of Science Technology. We have SOT, School of Health. We have a SEAT, which is School of Electrical, no, School of Engineering and Engineering Technology. Now, inside School of Engineering and Engineering Technology, you now have departments. I have Department of Electrical Engineering, Department of Mechanical, Department of Computer, etc. Now, inside Department of Electrical Engineering, I graduated as a power system engineer. Now, there are also some of my mates who graduated not as power system engineer, they went as a communication engineer. So, inside cybersecurity, there is a need for the learner to define which aspect you want to major in. You can't be, I am an engineer. What type of an engineer are you? So, cybersecurity, I am a cybersecurity personnel. So, what type of cybersecurity personnel are you? I don't know whether you're getting the picture.
Yes, sir.
Good. So, in this field of cybersecurity, one of the lowest hanging fruits is the SOC, which is Security Operations Center.
Okay.
Now, inside Security Operations Center, which is, like I said, one of the lowest hanging fruits, the job description is more like relatable to the common person, because as a security operations center, your major work revolves about around three things: monitoring, detection, and reacting to incidents. So when you're monitoring, you're looking at the screens to see when there is an upthrust or when something that does not look like something that is familiar is happening. You see it on your system, and you pick up that as an interest and write a report about it, submit to your manager. The manager takes it over from there. So the basic job descriptions of a SOC analyst helps it to, give people a landing foot into cybersecurity. And this SOC also belongs to a bigger family called the blue team. In
Okay.
cybersecurity, we have the blue team, we have the red team, then we have the purple team. The combination of blue and red gives purple, if I'm not mistaken, for fine art
Yeah,
students.
yeah.
Yeah.
The blue
So,
team, the red team, the purple.
yeah, when you mix the two of them, right, you get a purple color. So, the blue team is the defense, while the red team is the offense. The blue team, which is the defense, they primarily do these stuffs that the SOC guys do. They are the ones who are behind the system monitoring against incidents. Why the red team guys, which is the offense, are the ones who are active. They are finding, they are looking for, they are the threat hunters, they are the penetration testers, they are the ones writing the codes to figure out, I think there is a bug inside the system. Where is it? Or I think that we might be hacked. So let us, do something to ensure that our systems are intact. These two teams work hand in hand. The blue team is defending, while the red team is attacking, or they are the offense team. Now, when someone is skilled in the both teams, then he is said to be a purple team member. You get me, right?
Yes, sir.
So, and this process takes a very long, persistent, hard work, discipline time. So, which from our training, we advise learners to go in one step at a time. You might decide, depending on your prerequisite skills before, someone who is a programmer or a coder might not have fun sitting down behind the system monitoring, but he might see it as fun being on the attack, writing programs to combat security. So you see, it also depends on prerequisite skills. Someone who has a banking what's it called background, who knows how to read and audit policies, etc., would not want to find fun in writing computer programs that will be combating cybersecurity works. Neither might he want to be sitting down behind the system to watch and monitor the system. But now he can write policies. He can be on the policies and auditing side of cybersecurity. You see that in this cybersecurity is that there's a room for almost every kind of person, depending on where you're coming in from. So GRC, just like we mentioned in week one, has to do with governance, risk, and compliance. So for those who are or might be interested in that section, they will be channeling their energy at the end of the bootcamp towards governance, risk, and compliance. Those who have skill sets in computer programming and writing code, they will be channeling their energy towards the red team, becoming a red team member. Then those who are comfortable working as what's it called, monitoring team, doing some researches and trying to find out, defending the attacks that are coming, then they will channel their energy towards graduating or being a SOC personnel after the bootcamp. And our job is to ensure that these 3 or 4 set of people, they have a landing foot, get understanding, get the basics, get the most acceptable or the most common certifications needed, which is the ISC2 certified in cybersecurity licensed exam. Once they sit on it and pass through, they will have some of the prerequisites that are needed to excel in this field. And from the boot camp, of course, the sky will just be the starting point. So let's move in, and I don't know whether you have any questions from what we drifted to explain now.
No, sir. No
Okay.
question.
Okay. So there is a normal myth that says that cybersecurity is difficult. It's only for hackers. Now you understand that yes, hackers are people. Now officially in the industry, a hacker is someone who is likened to be like a penetration tester, someone who is employed by a company to check the system security of a business or a company, to vet it. Is this system secured enough? That is who a hacker is. But community and the society has misused the words for a threat actor and a hacker. Now, when you say you're a hacker, people tag you as a bad person. Meanwhile, the bad person is the threat actor. That's what it is called in the industry, a threat actor. So, but just to be on the right way, on the safer side, especially Nigeria as a country, just let them know that you're into cybersecurity. You tell them I'm a hacker before you explain the meaning of hacking. They for don't put inside van,
Exactly.
carry you to
Exactly.
go. So
Sir,
cybersecurity is not a
sorry, sir.
yes. Go ahead.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Sir, I mean, for this SOC, you
Yes.
still need to have knowledge of coding.
No. Now, SOC is all about monitoring,
All
detecting,
right. Okay.
analysis, and we are going to see
Okay.
how all those are being done. Okay. Meanwhile, SOC is in the blue team. Remember, anything in the blue
Okay.
team is on the defense. You don't write
Defense.
codes. You
Defense.
don't do all those.
Right.
Now, where you want to be writing codes and and doing proper hacking is in the red team.
Okay.
Those are the
But
offense.
you still need to give solution, like to provide solution for the attack.
Of course, you will have an overview about it, and
All right.
oftentimes we'll find out that people in the SOC oftentimes get they get flair for little penetration testing, little of offensive works, but they don't get so deep into the offense skills because it takes a longer time to acquire those programming knowledges. So the people that already have it have an edge, but you that is in the SOC, okay, you could over time, due to how the jobs might be overlapping, you start learning how to do those stuffs in the offensive team. And all these things comes by demand when you're already in the job or your own interest. Okay, so
Okay, sir.
let's pieces SOC. We
Yeah.
said this domain, which is SOC, has been evolving since 2015, and 63% of cybersecurity jobs opportunities are in security operations center. If you go on LinkedIn now and type on cybersecurity jobs, you'll find out most of the jobs, like 60%, will revolve around blue team activities. And blue team activities are under security operations center. So, and also it has low entry barrier. It has low entry barrier. And also the certifications are quite cheap. Currently, the ISC2 certificate, which we advise our students and help them to sit and pass, is free on first sitting. Okay, and if the learner or the student fails, then he has to pay for the certificate. Even the paying, also see it as one of the cheapest. You pay to the company. The company worldwide is not. You don't pay to individuals. You go to their site and receipts. Apply for receipting of your exam. Okay, for someone like me, I've actually the first time I took the exam, I didn't pass, so I have to receipt. Then I would have paid the receipting fund, just that I also am a part of another community which somehow has affiliate with them. So I was given a voucher. Someone paid for me, and I sat for the exam. The fee was $199, which currently, as I'm talking to you today, is one of the cheapest license certification in cybersecurity that is out there. Now I know we have the Google free one, the Google certificate that is free. Those ones are what's it called, introductions too. Even ISC2 is also introduction, but ISC2 stands, you have to count it first before counting subsidiary certifications like the Google, the ones you get in Coursera, etc. Okay, so that's about that. And as you go ahead in the industry, your certifications also get you increase in getting them. Likewise, the cost also. So the
So
yeah, go
as you
ahead.
talk as a low entry barrier, low entry, yeah. You mentioned something like low entry.
Yes, it has low barrier
eh,
entry to the industry, just like I
So that
explained to you.
maybe they don't apply for the job. Abi, how?
No, what I mean by low entry is there are no hard and fast rules towards coming in as a security operations center
All
as
right.
opposed to other cybersecurity career fields. For example, if you're going in as a penetration tester, if you want looking for a job as a penetration tester, there are some hardcore certifications you should have. There are some hardcore skills you should have before you could apply for those jobs. But as a security operations center, with basic what's it called, cybersecurity foundational knowledge, some basic boot camp skills, and of course the ISC2 certificate. You are good to go as an entry level staff for a security operations center because of the job description, which I told you is majorly on monitoring, detecting, and analyzing what is happening. Okay, and that is why it is easier to enter into cybersecurity through or as a security operations center. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but that doesn't still mean that the jobs are as easy as ABCD, but they are
Okay.
quite relatable.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's breeze through these sections before we go into sub properly. We say the different IT teams in a company. We have the system teams, the network team, endpoint security team, network security team, information security team, security operations center, application development team, database team, IT help desk team. And of course, with the recent technology outburst, we now have the cloud, virtualization, vulnerability assessment, and identity and access management. So this can be an example of the IT teams that are available in a company or in an establishment. No matter how big or small the company is, part of or some of these teams will be relevant. Most times you find out that they push all the jobs to one team, which sometimes is not really good, but is well. So the next pages will be a brief explanation of some of those teams. The systems team, stroke server team. These guys in the previous years, they are the ones who provide the systems, install and maintain the operating systems, install and configure what's it called, and manage the servers. Now they will provide the staff with the required applications needed, like the MS Word, the Adobe Notepad, etc., that are needed for the companies for the job. The company you're working with, do you have a what's it called? Were you issued a company system?
Yes, yes,
Okay, so of course you know that all the things, all the applications there were pre-installed and given to you.
yes.
So the people who does that are the systems team and the server team. So they provide these stuffs and uh, update it with the required tools per office use or per what's it called? Well, what's they call it again? Per your job routine. So what is in your
Yes.
own system will be different from what is in the developer's system. They will have more applications that deals with development than yours also. So that's how these guys they work on their own team. Then we also have the network team guys. These are the guys that take care of the network, especially when you come into the office. I believe there is a joint network that is being used, which is generally configured for the system for the company. You come in, you log into the company's Wi-Fi or the router, and you make use of the internet in the office. So the network team guys they take care of these. Then we have the endpoint security team. They protect endpoints in the network, user machines, servers, etc. Installing, configuring, and maintaining endpoint security solutions. So those are what they do. They are the ones to put in the antivirus, hotvirus, etc. to ensure that at least some kind of security is in place. Then we have the specifically network security team. These guys they put the security in place for the networks also. Now we also have the infosec security team guys. Now watch what these guys does. They conduct regular audits, they draft security policies, they conduct user awareness training and also adherence to regulatory compliance, and that's the governance, risk and compliance, the GRC. Okay, this is a full-blown section of its own in cybersecurity. People who are not interested to work as a blue team, or yes, they might not interested to work as in the monitoring or detection team, neither are they interested to work as a offense team, but they have some knowledge about auditing, writing policies, some lawyers, some bankers, etc. they want to buttress their strength on GRC. That's where they will do very well. So if you see here from the yellow bar, you have the auditing. They are with the strategy management, business processing, policies and procedures, performance management, risk management, and control activities. And of course, they work hand in hand with both the blue team and the red team. Then we have the vulnerability assessment team. These guys also are more like the red team guys also, because they use automated tools to scan the network to identify the vulnerabilities in applications and systems. The blue team guys also does vulnerability assessment, because when they search, when they find issues, they update. Whenever you see there's an update or patching, as the word is in the cybersecurity, it means that something was discovered and we are trying to patch it up so that it's better we fix it up before the adversary out there uses it against us. So we have the identity and access management team. These guys are the ones who are in charge of creating and managing identities and access rights of people, employees, and customers. So when they are talking about username and password, these are the guys who are in charge of it. Your user accounts, your passwords reset, granting access, etc. This is their office. So remember, we are talking about different teams that can be found in an IT environment or in a business or in an organization. We also have the Security Operations Center, which now look at their most prevalent job descriptions. Kindly read it out.
Monitor, detect, investigate, and respond to cyber threats.
Yes. And they work with SMEs of other teams to remediate the security incident. So this is the basic job of a security operations center analyst, a SOC analyst. You monitor, you detect, you investigate, and you respond to cybersecurity threats when they arise. Okay, and some of the tools that are being used, we have the SIM, we have the SOA, we have the threat intelligence, and we have the analysis tools. So these are some of the tools that the SOC, anybody working in SOC will be prevalent to be using in almost his or day-to-day activities. Now, SOC being the central to organization security, we found out that when there is problem in the system, they bring it down to the SOC. Network, they bring it down to the SOC. Endpoint security guys, they have issues, they bring it down to the SOC. Network security guys, they bring it down to the SOC. Vulnerability assessment, they bring it down to the SOC. The IAM guys, they bring it down to the SOC. Even the help desk now calls upon the SOC for solutions. And why is that the reason? Which takes us into evolution of SOC. How SOC came to being. Okay. Year 2008 to 2010, I think those were the advent of SOC, having a Stuxnet as the first cyber weapon, which was designed for a specific task. Now, look at what the first cyber weapon was designed as. Kindly read it out.
Designed to bring down Iran nuclear power plant.
What do you think? As of the year 2008
Yeah.
to 2010.
I mean, it has a purpose to
Yes.
bring down the nuclear power of Iran.
This is an attack on a nation.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, yes, yes.
This is an attack on a nation, not just
Yeah.
an individual or a company. That's for
Yes,
you to
yes.
know the depth
Yeah.
and the what's it called? The adverse effects of a cybersecurity attack. There is no height it can get to. From the least of the organizations to the height of nations, cybersecurity is sitting on the heartbeat of a company. Yeah, I think I read an article currently why US is having double mind on TikTok and mostly some of these applications that are controlled not by US citizens but are having or gaining popularity in their own soil. You find out that when you see that 80% of your youth is dancing to the tune of a music not owned by an indigene but by another company, by another country.
By,
Yeah,
by another country. Yeah.
yeah. You just have to tag it as something of security. What's it called? National security. So even though most
Just
of,
like the
yes, go ahead.
just like DeepSeek,
Yeah,
the AI DeepSeek.
exactly, exactly.
Yes.
You see
Mm.
now, U.S. in this war, in this cyber war, wants to be in control of its own resources. Of course, they wanted to build. Of course, the Trump government issued out early, few months, last month I think so, that they want to put out the biggest AI, whatever that the world has ever known. Okay,
Mm.
they already have what's it called, open AI there, but they want to do something bigger. Now, the Chinese guys, which is their rival, doesn't even go out to talk about it. They put out their step out there, and it's mind blowing. These are wars that are going on that if you do not know, if you are just a common man, you might not know what is happening. As third world nation countries, we most of us are talking about survival. Meanwhile,
Mm.
the guys up there are talking about control. Third world countries are talking about survival, and I think it's high time we also step up and start playing at least in those levels, because I told someone, see, if what's it called, WhatsApp and Facebook goes down today, and Twitter goes down today, what
Mm.
social
Media.
presence does Nigeria have? How do we communicate?
We don't have anyone.
You see, does it take heaven and earth to build anyone? No, it
No.
doesn't. It's just that what is doing to us. Igbo people used to say, "Waiting they smell he goat, he dey in body." No, he dey inside him body, no be even in flesh. He dey inside him body. As well.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
so we have the major cyber attacks that have been happening in the past. Okay, which I think the one of the biggest one was the one that hit Yahoo, that accounted to 3 billion of its users. That's in the year
Mm.
2013 to 2014.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Yahoo Mail, when it came out, it was a good one. Everybody was jumping
Yeah.
into creating Yahoo.
Like,
Yeah. I could remember when I got my own, I was so happy. I was checking my mail every day. I'll go to the, what's it called? The cyber shop.
Cyber Cafe.
Cyber
Cyber
cafe, buy time. I'll buy 30 minutes. I'll check my email.
Mm.
It's interesting though. So we found out that 2012 hackers posted a login credentials for more than 453,000 user accounts. Also in January 2013 and 2014. So Yahoo later confirmed in October 2017 that all 3 billion of its users were impacted in that particular attack. So likewise, every other company who has gone through cyber attack is not a good journey to go through. It's not a good journey. So some will go through it, and in fact, record has it that I think 60% of small businesses, that when they go through a cyber attack, they don't rise again. 60%, they don't rise again, so they stay finished. 60%, because by the time you talk about how to clean up and start from beginning, the cost of staying down is lesser than the cost of cleaning and starting from beginning. So they just vanish. So now the question now remains, who is safe on the internet? Okay. With all this information coming to us, we now found out that it took 205 days for companies to detect an attack. Now I'm talking about before SOC came in.
Okay.
It took 205 days. That's almost a year.
Almost a year. Yes, sir.
Yes. Before companies could detect an attack. Now, 80 days before the attack took place, there were indications that the attack would happen. Now, 67% of the time, the attacks were not even detected by the company. It was detected by external entities. So you'll now be asking, so what is happening in the company? Why is nobody noticing, or why is the company not noticing these things? Why? Why? The answer is below. Let's look at the calendar diagram of what we just saw now. So January 20th, there were some indicators that started coming in. Up until January ended, February, March, April, nobody detected or found reason to query some of those indications. Just like when a thief keeps writing letter, I'm coming, oh, I'm coming, oh, I'm coming, oh. And the estate didn't take action. They didn't gather their security until the attack now happened. The estate did not even find that. So on 2nd of April, the attack was executed, and all through April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, it wasn't detected. Up until 19th of November, when it was detected. Even when it was detected by outsiders, not even the people in the company. So what was the problem? The root cause was traced to lack of visibility. When a thief is in your house and you don't know where the thief is, what are you going to do? Lack of visibility. Nobody was looking out for these things. There is someone in charge of alert when money comes in. There is someone in charge of marketing. There is someone in charge of businesses meeting. But who is in charge of looking out for when there is an attack? So lack of visibility made this result to be this big. So having noticed that this is the root cause, there became the need for security monitoring. Someone who will monitor. And now the question is, what are we going to monitor? Yes, we are going to monitoring logs. Computer speaks in logs. They are speaking computer language, and
Yes.
even your laptop and your system, they keep track of everything that is happening. When you switch on the system, it keeps track of when the system comes up. It keeps track of what applications you open. It keeps track of when you close that application. Computers, every network device keeps track. It's just that they are not visible to you. Of course, you don't need them. But when the authorities or when the need arises, you go know say that thing where you hold for hand, they record you.
Mm. Mm.
So we that are working in the SOC, we monitor logs, and the logs can be system logs, it can be security solution logs, it can be network device logs. So all these logs are what the SOC team guys they monitor, and we are going to be seeing more of it down. Okay. Now, also, while we are monitoring the log, another challenge came. They are not so easy to read. If
Mm.
if I tell you to read this log now, try and read it
I'm just
first.
I'm just seeing number like a IP address
Yeah, of
there.
course, yes. So now, for someone who is experienced, you even know what an IP address is. Some people will just see one, one,
Yes,
date.
exactly.
Yes. So for someone
Then
who is experienced,
the type of browser,
exactly,
the type of Windows system, and the rest
exactly,
and all.
exactly.
Because
Now you are picking the little or the salient informations inside the logs. You are picking them because you have an eye for them. Someone who doesn't know will not know what is happening because they are not normal English. Yeah.
They don't know about English.
So, oh, sorry. I clicked on the document.
Okay.
I didn't even know this document is live. I thought it wasn't connected to the internet. Okay. Okay. So where are we? We are here. Okay. Now,
Yes.
so to read this now, we could say someone who has or a user with this IP address on the 8th of January 2020 at this time
Yes.
try to get stuff from Google. He used Google search
Mm.
and he was looking for log analyzers
Mm.
and he was using a Mozilla Firefox application.
Browser.
He was, yes,
Yeah.
browser. He was not using a Google Chrome. He was using Mozilla, and his system is Windows system, specifically Windows NT 5.2. And this person is not using Chinese; he's using English language. Okay, and also his Firefox Mozilla Firefox browser is version 2.0.0. So this log is extracted from the actions of the user. Probably the user does not know, but the system security engineers or the SOC analyst will be able to extract this kind of information and know if this person has a good or bad intention. First of all, let's even check his IP address to know if this person is good or bad. There are platforms that create histories of malicious activities or malicious IP addresses or malicious activities. So when we go to such platforms, we can query some data and know whether this data is good or what or bad. So I'm going to share my entire screen so you could follow me while I drift. I said while our trainings are going on, you will see me drift in, make some references. So I will advise that you get a pen and paper also to take note of some of the drifts that I'm doing, so that you can still, if there are the ones you would do outside after the class, I will also encourage you to do them. For example, remember we are talking about this guy, and I want to check the character of this guy. I want to check out his IP address to know whether he is good or bad. You understand me? Yes.
Okay.
Now, if we do that, it will give us idea of his intention.
Mm.
Okay. Now, so I am going to go to an open source platform which is available. Even if you type on your Google with me now, you still have the platform open. Virustotal.com. Virustotal.com, and I'll press enter. Can you see the screen?
Virustotal.com.
Yes. Can you
I
see
can
it?
see it, sir.
Now,
Yes, sir.
above here, where you have the search bar, you can search URL. What else can you search?
You can search file.
You can also search
Then you
for
are
domain or file hash. So if I have
okay.
if I have a website that I don't think I
No
don't
problem.
I don't have
Then
if there's a website you don't think is legit enough, you can type the
all right.
website inside here and know how legit or how bad it is before you go inside it. If you have someone's IP address or you're tracking something and you want to know where this IP address is emanating from, you can search from here. If there is a file someone sent you, a PDF or whatever, and you are scared of opening it, maybe you think it is a malicious file, you come here and upload it and check, scrutinize it to know whether it is good or bad. You got me, right? So we are going to,
Yes, sir.
yeah, we're going to paste this guy's IP address. If you can remember, it is 111.111.111, right? And
Yeah.
when we hit enter, we're going to get a score, a result of how good or how bad it is. And of course, we're already seeing red. And towards this side, you could see the country. Where is it coming out from?
Japan.
Good. And we see 2/94 security vendors flag this IP address as what?
As malicious.
Good. This is under detection. Under details, you can say get more information about his network, the country, JP, this continent is Asia, and also some, address, phone number, etc. towards his origin. So this is open there in the internet for security purposes. If you are not so sure about a file, a browser, a link, etc., this is one of the best ways to checkmate it and ensure that you are safe before you click and access. You got that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we are going to go back to our SOC. That's why I encourage on live classes, so that you can be able to interact and drift. But if it's just a recorded class, you won't have some of
Yes,
these
exactly.
opportunities. Exactly.
Uh, yes, exactly.
Yeah. So now the challenge is these logs are not all that easy to read, and that's not even the main challenge. They come in huge volume daily, and we are talking about almost 25 million logs per day.
Lots per day.
So how are you going to read them
Lots
with 300 logs per second passing through?
per day.
That's very big.
Yes.
Yes. So that gave rise to a new challenge: how to effectively read these logs. And a solution called SIM was introduced, and it
Security.
stands for Security, Information, and Event Management. SIM. SIM. Do not forget it. You have to just find a way and keep it in your head. Security, Information, and Event Management. The more you stay in the industry, the more you get more conversant with most of them. So, what is the work of this SIM? You remember all those stuffs I told you we are going to be monitoring? The logs, the servers, etc. All their logs are being channeled into the same toolbox. The same tool does some magic and populates out suspicious activities for us. So those suspicious activities are the ones that the SOC analysts will concentrate in to avoid noise. Out of 25 million logs, maybe 1,000 or 500 or 300 might be malicious. But if you don't have SIM tool, you will end up swimming inside 25 million logs. Of course, it will not be efficient. True or false? Yeah.
Truth.
So the SIM actually is being configured with some set of parameters on how to checkmate malicious events or malicious logs. Just like this platform called Virus Total curates some of these stuffs. You understand? They have a database that creates malicious events, malicious links, malicious this, that. So the same tool is configured in such a way that it detects some of those malicious activities or malicious characters, then flags them for the security operations analyst to see them and start treating them. So just a recap before we move ahead. We saw the problem, we found the root cause, and we now have a solution. There is this life analogy that Anand Guru, the owner of this material, made. He said there's a problem of accidents, especially with the bikers. They always fall and most times they break their head. The root cause is they don't wear helmet, right?
Yes.
Now, solution is if you're a biker, make sure you wear a helmet.
Yes.
But the truth of the matter is, do people enjoy or like wearing helmets? No,
No.
they don't. And that is where we get the rule enforcers and the GRC guys. That's where their own rule, their own section comes in. They are the rule enforcers. Okay, they enforce and ensure that companies maintain some level of security decorum to ensure that people's data are secured, both the customers and also the staff and even the company itself. So, and also they impose fines, heavy fines for defaults or defaulters. So we see that the security rule enforcers the regulatory compliances and also ensure industry best practices. Just like the PCI, which is the Security Standards Council, we have the GDPR, and also HIPPA, HIPAA, which is under the health insurance scheme. So all these arms, they are geared towards enforcing the rules to ensure that goods and services and human beings stay safe. Okay. Now, the next slide here is an introduction to some tools. IBM has always been an old cargo in the business of computers. So they joined in early and they built some security tools, some SIM tools actually. We also have the McAfee. This McAfee, if you have one that is outdated, it will start doing the reverse of what it should do. In fact, most of the antiviruses, I can remember those days. There's one that was so rampant that it was free. Everybody was running about to download it. Let me see if I can remember it.
That will expire after 10 years.
Yes. Most times when you download these stuff free online, you end up downloading virus.
We tell you that will expire after 10 years, after 15 years,
Man,
and you don't know that we are downloading virus.
I'm telling you. So we also have Splunk Enterprises. Now, everything you are seeing here is more or less more of the prevalent tools which also are still in the industry. For example, the Splunk, the Total Security Intelligence Lab, IL1 Labs. We also have Wazoo, which is a bit more user friendly. I use Wazoo in my own day-to-day work when I resume working every morning. So the company I'm working with, we make use of Wazoo and Splunk, but I use Wazoo more. Okay, and just like a SIM tool, I'm going to show you briefly how or what it looks like. Let me try to log in. So I'm going to just show you a preview about it. In this bootcamp also, you will have an opportunity to work with and experience how the SIM tool works. Okay, you have that opportunity. you'll see how it does. Is in fact, it will almost look like a replica of this our company tool, Wazoo. It is used for monitoring, used for dictating, used for it helps to um, report and analyze incidents when they happen. Okay, so it's loading up. Now, this Wazoo is an industry tool. So, most of cybersecurity tools, most of them are industry tools, but just few of them are open source, whereby you and I, the common people in the industry that are not yet attached to an industry, could be able to access. Okay, so we also help our students to point them to some of these open source tools, just like the virus total that I showed you. Okay. There is also platforms that are premium that does what virus total does and even does more. But for you that is learning, that is testing the waters, it will be advisable for you to start with the ones that are affordable. By affordable, I means open source. That means you wouldn't have to spend or break your bank to learn how these things work. So this is just my landing page on the Wazoo, and just a quick review. We have the agent summary. We have 10 active agents. Agents actually means the setup or the systems we put in place to monitor those logs, that will be pulling those logs out from the people we are monitoring them from. Those are what we call agents. Okay, so I could install an agent in your laptop and be monitoring it from here. That agent will be pulling in your logs, pulling in everything. So when a malicious activity is going on your system, I will be able to see it from here. So you see, since the last 24 hours, there has not been any critical severity issue. If there is, it will show here. High severity, none. Medium severity, how many? 16,069. Then low severity, we have 59,433. So most of these might be young, let's say amateurs trying to log in or trying to make research or trying to brute force. But when we see people trying to actively hack a system, you find them out in the critical severity and the high severity. Yes. So the Wazoo is more or less expanded in such a way that it gives the SOC analyst a best eye view of what is happening. Okay, you see, I have 75,923 incidents here, with zero of them being a high one. But I'm seeing how many authentication failures here?
3
That,
thousand
yes, authentication success. Okay?
589.
Good. So now what I do is, what is happening? Why am I having this number of authentication failures? It's either someone is trying to log in, or someone is forgetting his password, or someone is trying to forge a login. You understand? So now I could now have a detailed view about these stuffs and actually go into them one after the other and treat them as an incident. So this is what the SIM tool does. And like I said, before you end the bootcamp, you will have an access to stuff like this, where you will, analyze your own self and see how firsthand the SIM tool works. And is one of our core prides. We help students to um, achieve the big things in smaller ways.
So, excuse me, question, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
Like for these symptoms,
Yes.
I will be on the system monitoring 24 hours. Like you have to be on the
Okay.
monitoring what is going on, the activities, and maybe the access and the failure of the intruder.
Yes. So
Yes.
when you have when companies employ SOC analysts, they you go in by shifts.
Mm.
So
Okay.
so that they could achieve all round 24 hours eyes on the system.
Mm.
So you can have a shift that runs for 11 hours or 8 hours, have another shift. Someone else is taking over from you, running to 8 hours. Someone else is taking. So that's how most of the companies do, and they achieve all round 247 eyes on the system. Okay,
Mm.
so this is already 9. I'm going to be leaving you here. The material and the recording will hopefully be available before the end of tomorrow. So once you get it, ensure you finish up the remaining
Yes,
parts.
I will finish before the next class, sir.
Yeah, it is. I think we are in slide 45 out of 85. That means you have
Yeah.
40 more slides to go through, so that by the time we come for the next class, we'll do a brief rundown about them. And it's almost ended. It's just about you will find out the different job roles, etc., that are available in the SOC environment. Okay, just go through them, gather your questions. Once we meet in the next class, we will look at them properly. Okay,
Okay, sir.
so
Thank you very much, sir.
thank you very much, Biodun. You're the best. See you next week.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Good
Bye bye.
night.
Good night.